You're listening to Oilersnation Radio, presented by the Nation Network. Subscribe for free on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Welcome to Oilersnation Radio, episode 53. Brought to you by our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant out in beautiful Sherwood Park, Alberta. Go ahead and follow them on Twitter at Sherwood Ford and on Instagram at Sherwood Ford _the Giant. I do encourage you to check them out on social media. Why? Because they have always got some fantastic charitable initiatives going on. Dan, what did we just have? We just had something with them, didn't we?
They just donated, I think it was about $6,000 to the Alberta Cancer Society from the Race for the Cure event that we were at in mid-August. So they wrapped that up because they were still donating money for every test drive that people took for the year or for the month. Thanks, Rick, for pointing out my hands that nobody could see. And then this weekend, we just announced that the Nation truck will be out on the streets of Edmonton for an event called Wheels of Wellness, which they're going to be raising money for the Stollery. So people can go to our Instagram, that's official Oilers Nation, and feel free to donate and join our team.
Go ahead and follow Sherwood Ford on Twitter, again, at Sherwood Ford, and on Instagram, at Sherwood Ford _the Giant. Make sure that you're keeping up to date with all the amazing things that they are doing in the community. And if you want a new truck, you want a new car, if you want a 1987 Ford Escort GT, you head on out to Sherwood Park and you see our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant. You may notice, listener of this podcast, one of you, Dad, thank you, that we sound a little bit different today.
Very different.
We are workshopping the new podcast studio that we have at Nation HQ.
It's very Wayne's World in here.
It is very Wayne's World in here. There's lights, there's cameras, there's microphones everywhere, there's still construction being built. We're in the basement of a weird house. So if we sound a little bit different, we're testing out new mics. Tyler, what else we got going on? You got all kinds of shit around you.
Yeah, well, we got the new mics on our shirts now. They pin to our t-shirts, which is fancy, called a lav mic in the business, I suppose. Wow. And apart from that, we still got the Roadcaster going down here. We got a couple of big monitors, a couple of big lights, a camera in case we want to make this a video cast at some point in the near future, which we might be doing. But most of this was done for Dusty. We're just now milking it and testing it.
So we are going to plug Dusty's new show that is coming up on Monday. It's called Two Guys and a Goalie. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So if we sound different this week, if it sounds weird, just bear with us, man. We're getting some at-bats in.
Yeah, and we don't have the room fully soundproofed yet, so if it's a little echoey and you're like, this podcast is fucking trash, maybe try again next week when it'll be a little less echoey.
It harkens back to the time when I was the sound producer of Nation Real Life. And the room was super echoey, and it was a real problem, and I was just pretending like I knew what I was doing.
I think the point here is
looking at my microphone, Tyler.
Well, I'm just making sure everyone's got their lavs in a good spot. And
how's my lav? Am I okay?
Might have the best lav placement out of everybody.
He's got the hoodie, so
that would be my government name, Tyler. Fuck. Government name from Tyler to start off this week's podcast.
Should I bleep it out or should I try that again?
I just moved my laptop.
I think now we should just bleep it out and then go into the correct one. I like that better. It adds the human element. It lets people know that Tyler Yaremchuk is
We're not perfect over here.
Okay. We're not perfect. We're just trying our best. We're down here trying our best. We're in a basement.
That's how the whole company started.
Yes, in a basement. Blogging.
Mom's trying her best.
So again, if you got any feedback, send them directly to Tyler. His email is tyler@oilersnation.com. Tyler@oilersnation.com. If you hate the podcast, be sure to let him know. Send him there. Do not talk to me about it because I don't want to hear it.
Or if you just want to hang out, shoot me a note.
Yeah. If you want to have a guy brag about his intramural sports. Actually, you know what the nice part about being friends with Tyler is? And this is me being genuine. Every morning when I wake up, I'll check my social media or my text messages, and there is something in there from Tyler telling me to get up, seize the day, and get on the grind.
He's one of the most motivational people I know.
Congrats, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Back to business. Let's get to some important Oilers topics. Ken Holland this week, gentlemen, said that Connor McDavid could potentially miss the entire preseason. Now, we talked about this last week. None of us in this room, or I guess we were in a different room, but none of us on the podcast thought it was a big deal. Has anybody changed their mind?
No.
A lot of heads shaking no.
That's what we all said.
Ken Holland's quote was, if he was fully healthy, he'd play 2 or 3 games. This is talking about the preseason. If he was fully healthy, he'd play 2 or 3 games. This is a unique situation. Either he'll play 1 game at most or very likely 0. We have 3 weeks to go, and we are going to be conservative. We'd rather be safe than sorry. If he isn't going to be ready for opening night, then he's just not ready. Tyler, what do you think about Ken Holland's approach on this?
I think it's bang on. It's the right approach, man. Like, there's no benefit. I've said this before. I sound like a broken record. There's no benefit to Connor McDavid going out there when even if he's at 95%. No benefit to him going out and playing against a bunch of 3rd and 4th liners. And like the preseason, he doesn't need it, man. He's Connor McDavid. He doesn't need to get into game shape or anything. His brain is always in game shape.
We have enough guys that need preseason to try and figure out where they are. Are they as good as we want them to be? Connor's just taking away ice time for those guys. He doesn't need it. Look at the NFL. They play maybe a quarter in the 3rd game, and that's it.
Yeah.
And even now, that's starting to go away more and more, right? Because it used to be they played almost the whole 3rd game.
Yeah.
As we keep going, it's less and less and less. And if you have a hole in your fucking end zone, you're not playing at all. Like, these guys, you don't need it. He's ready to go. Come October 2nd, I fully anticipate seeing him on the ice.
And if he's not there for the season opener, I think it'll be disappointing. But again, I'd rather have him miss the first 2 games of the year than come back and be like, ooh, something's not right, and then he's out for another month.
Honestly, it's a luxury that we are afforded now because the scratch tickets exist.
Yeah.
Is that mic better?
Yeah, your mic placement's good.
The scratch tickets exist, and like Rick said, we need to find out what we have on our tickets. And so you use the preseason games to kind of figure that out, fizzle that out. We'll figure out the bottom 6 for sure, outside of Riley Sheehan, I think. And we'll go about it and go win some regular season games when Connor's good and ready to go.
All I care about the most is that Connor is healthy as he can be before he plays a meaningful game. It kind of reminds me of the collarbone thing. And that was a more defined injury in the sense that a broken bone is a broken bone. It's not a ligament. It's a little bit different. And the Oilers were ultra conservative with his collarbone, if you remember. And then, when he did come back, he scored one of the most ridiculous goals I've ever seen against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Do you want him to score more ridiculous goals? Of course you do. Of course you do.
Well, and then on the flip side, Bagnall too, there was when he had the death flu, and he was still great. He was still Connor, but we forced him into the games and forced him to keep playing because
he probably forced himself. It's the flu. Connor McDavid was not taking any time off because he has a 112 fucking temperature.
But I hope that Ken Holland would have the guts to just say, "Listen, Connor, let's take a week."
Are you going to say that to Connor? You're going to look Connor in the eye and say, no, you can't be on the ice right now?
I feel like he probably has. it because to me,
doctors are because of his ligaments, and that's fine. But if he has a cough, you're going to look at him and say, no, I'm sorry, you got hell no.
But that's a cold that took him like a month, 2 months to get over. Like it was just.
But it wasn't just a cold. Remember when it came out and he had basically every ailment under the sun essentially? I don't know. It was weird.
All of those ailments, and that still couldn't bring him down.
He was still a point per game guy. So right now we've got Dan. He is adjusting his mic.
He's adjusting.
Yeah, so we're
working on it.
We're doing it on the fly here. Go in between the first and second buttons of your very nice golf shirt. That's the spot.
Yeah, that's a good spot right there.
All right, we did it.
That sounds better.
That's where I keep my work. That's where I keep my work radio down there too.
No, it didn't. I thought it was the "We Are Back" button. It's the previously on Big Brother button.
If you are a fan of the Real Life Podcast, you will know that button from our BB Talks that end off all our shows in the summer. Yeah. However, this is ON Radio.
We need a label maker.
Off the rails in a new room.
How do those buttons work? Can we set different beds to them for the different podcasts?
Yeah.
We should come up with some fun buttons. If you are listening and you have some fun buttons that Tyler can associate for ON Radio, hit us up on Twitter or Instagram.
Do we only get 8 though?
Yeah, you only get 8.
Okay.
And some of those.
Can we all choose our? We all should choose our own little.
Like a goal song.
Yeah, when you have a scorching hot take, you can have
Speaking of goal songs, how much better would it be if the NHL allowed players to pick their own goal song?
Who are you, Jason Gregor? He brings this up every 3 months.
Does he really?
Oh yeah, on his show.
Did you guys?
I bet you it's not the NHL. I bet you it's just it's just has never gotten there because everything's so conservative from before. Now that we're getting outside of that, now you see Hull and PK are talking on their Twitter about what goal song they want for the team in general.
Well, Nurse came out yesterday on the Oilers official account and asked for people to suggest the game-winning song to play in the locker room.
Yeah.
I also want to shout out to Darnell Nurse for his hype video that came out yesterday.
So Ferrari?
It was so good, man. He's cruising in a Ferrari, doing a little workout. Shout out to you, Darnell.
He's ready to go this year.
I hope so.
Oh.
Oilers need him. In other news, just as we started recording, Jason Gregor's article went up at Oilersnation.com about Kyle Brodziak officially shutting his career down.
Well, it's an injury or is it a retirement?
He's going on LTIR.
He's gonna get.
Is he actually going? Because they said I think it was actually his show where he said he didn't need to put him on LTIR for whatever reasons. It's some about how much you save in the long run, something. Mm-hmm. But they were just going to put him on the regular injured.
This morning, Edmonton Oilers head coach Dave Tippett confirmed that Kyle Brodziak did not pass his physical and would not be on the ice tomorrow for day 1 of training camp. According to Gregor's article, Brodziak hurt his back at some point in April. He hasn't been on the ice since April 1st when they were in Vegas. When they spoke in May, Brodziak told Gregor confidentially that he didn't think he was going to be able to play this season, and that kind of just came out officially today. So
it's a bummer.
It is a bummer. He's a strong veteran guy, but you know what? For a guy that was drafted in the 7th round to go out and play more than 900 NHL games is no joke.
Yep.
It is no joke. The disappointing part about his career, I guess, is that the Oilers traded him as he was heading into his prime, and what they got back, I mean, it was a typical Oilers kind of move, right?
For a guy who was drafted by the Oilers, he retired as an Oiler, which is great. You'd love that with every prospect you draft. The only issue is he wasn't an Oiler for the best parts of his career, which sucks.
Yeah, and I think if you do have the time, it's a long one. Gregor's article is long. Go through and read it because he talks about why he made the decision to shut it down. He's got a young family. He's 35 years old. He's thinking about the future. He's had NHL paychecks for a long time now, so he's going to be fine. But he is, and it's kind of like a trend we're seeing now a little bit, that guys are thinking ahead. He's on the back nine. He was in the tail end of his career, but still. You
just don't push through those injuries near the end of your career when there's really no benefit outside of it. What are you going to get at the end of it?
Well,
in a year and a half, you're going to have...
Maybe a cup. But
maybe
still,
you're going to be a PTO guy at that point, right?
I was just going to say, he's looking at a blockade of guys in front of him that are younger, faster, all that stuff.
And, I mean... athletes are starting to think about life a little bit more. You got to give them credit for that. Like
100%.
When you're that age, you sit there and go, all right, if you're Brodziak's case, he has probably around 20 mil in the bank. All right, I can push it for 2 more years and maybe I get 22 million in the bank.
Yeah,
when I'm 60, my back's going to be so fucked I can't play with my grandkids. Like, you can never fault the guy for retiring, ever.
I respect it. Very nice things. Again, going back to Gregor's article, he talked to some of Brodziak's former teammates, just what he was like as a teammate, what he was like in the locker room, what he was like to compete with. So he spoke to Jared Spurgeon. He talked to former Oiler Tom Gilbert. He talked to Scotty Upshall. He talked to Ken Hitchcock. He talked to Mikko Koivu. So there's a lot of great quotes in there about Kyle Brodziak. I encourage you to go to Oilersnation.com, check out the article, read, enjoy, learn a little bit about a player who was not guaranteed anything. After being drafted in the 7th round, he went out and fucking earned himself 917 NHL games.
You didn't mention that Scotty Upshall is also a former Oiler.
Scotty Upshall, former PTO with the Edmonton Oilers. If I remember correctly, your old boy Bag Milk broke that news last summer, and there was certain MSM around this city that said, well, I'll believe it when a reliable source writes about it, and then boom, in your fucking face.
You want to call him up by name?
No, I'm not going to say his name.
Good.
He knows who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Other news today?
Can we do the chest pounding sounds now?
Yeah. Everybody go watch.
Dan is now punching his lav mic. Hope you all enjoyed listening to that.
Other news today, the Oilers' 3rd jersey officially came out, despite the fact that this has been floating around on social. We had it on The Nation about a month and change ago. Tyler, you had it on Twitter ages ago. I will start with you, sir. What do you think now that this has officially come out as the Oilers' 3rd jersey?
At first, I was like, man, this is terrible. They fucked with it. I hate it. And now I'm looking at it. I kind of, towards the end, like when we got the leak online, I was like, okay, maybe it won't look too terrible once they get like on the ice and you see it in full uniform. I still don't like it. I wish they would have gone a different direction. I don't like that they messed with the logo. To me, the Oilers have an iconic logo and it should never be messed with. And to go to the all orange thing, I don't know, like it is a 3rd jersey, so it's not worth losing your shit about, but I would have preferred something a little bit more like a classic hockey sweater, because that's what I think the Oilers look best in. But I'm not going to be like screaming on Twitter all year being like, oh, it'd be nice if they won a game and they weren't wearing these fucking ugly jerseys.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. The logo, the original Oilers logo from the WHA days was all orange.
Yeah, it was all orange with the white background. Maybe if they would have kept a white background on there, maybe it would have looked a little bit sharper. The two-tone thing isn't really my vibe, but...
My big thing with any jersey is you have to reserve your judgment. I mean, obviously we don't, but you reserve your judgment until you see it under the big lights on the ice. Like the Jets jersey last year looked like dog shit in their releases, but as soon as that blue hit the ice, the pop was just there. So it'll be interesting to see how this orange works with that dark navy blue on the ice. When I love the Team North America jersey, and I know that that's kind of the aesthetic they were going for, so we'll see.
Rick, what do you think?
The picture today looked better than any of the other pictures I've seen before. But again, you'll see it on the ice. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I would have preferred something in the older royal blue type. But yeah, they just make some money right now. In 2 years, we'll get our royal blues and go to royal blues and whites and let's go.
Well, that's you nailed it. All this is about is moving units. That's all they care about is selling jerseys. So that's why in another couple of years, we're going to have a different third jersey. That's why, to me, my take is that I have no take. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't like it. It is what it is. We're here to give our opinions, whatever. Let's get on. I don't care what the fuck they're winning as long as they're what they're wearing as long as they're winning.
12 and 13-year-olds will love it, and there you go. They'll sell a bunch. Kids will be opening presents on Christmas Day, having the new Oilers third. They'll be stoked, and there you go. That's the goal, so they did it.
Wanya will go buy it and wear it around proudly.
Oh, you know, Wanya's got a...
He probably has it already. That's why we haven't seen him today. He's probably sitting in line somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't go on sale until Monday, I believe.
Oh, he's first in line then.
Absolutely.
That guy got to that Jollibee or whatever like 3 days before. Wanya's lined up outside the Oilers store in Kingsway right now, just sitting there.
He set up his tent. A little Wanya jersey story for you. Before Connor McDavid's draft year, he had me order a Connor McDavid captain jersey for the Edmonton Oilers.
True.
As soon as the Oilers won the lottery. So if they won the lottery on, I don't remember what day of the week it was, but if it was a Thursday,
Friday.
I had it. Okay, so if it was Friday, Monday I ordered it.
It was either a Friday or Saturday. I was just sitting on the couch and I don't think I moved for 2 hours.
No,
my jaw dropped.
Of course.
No,
it's a beautiful day.
Did we get?
It's a beautiful day.
It's crazy.
Know what else is crazy? The savings that you can get from our friends out at Sherwood Ford, Sherwood Park, Alberta. Not only do they do charitable initiatives that we mentioned a little bit earlier, they are also about moving units. They are about moving trucks. They are about making sure your family can get from point A to point B in one of the sexiest vehicles on the road.
You know, we never talked about it before, Bag Milk, but I think you can buy the truck, the Nation truck, out from under Jay.
Is that a thing?
I think so. I could be wrong, and I'm sorry, Sherwood Ford, if this isn't true.
No, that dude, the guy at the golf tournament, the Nation golf tournament.
Dave?
Yeah, he.
Not only was
David
he...
or Ernesto?
No. Ernesto, not the egg guy.
Yeah, so Dave from Sherwood Ford is their marketing manager. Rick and I are talking about the hole-in-one, and all of a sudden, just casually pulls out an HBE, just grabs a hard-boiled egg and starts knocking it on the windshield of a golf cart.
And then walks into the trees, peels it, plops her home.
Little snack.
Gives us the nutritional information on it.
Man,
Absolutely.
He is a fitness guru.
80 calories on that baby.
But it was the other guy who was like, hey
Ernesto.
guys, if you can't win it, you can buy it. No, seriously, here's my card, giving out his card to everybody, I will sell you this truck.
Please go to Sherwood Ford.
Fairly certain you can buy it.
Let's crowdsource this. Let's get a bunch of Nation fans together.
We'll timeshare Jay's truck.
Timeshare the
We
truck.
can timeshare his truck right out from underneath him while he's over in Europe. Be great.
That'd be sweet. He comes back from Finland. We'll talk about Jay being in Finland.
Where is the truck right now?
Graham's driving it.
Because it's going to be going in the Wheels for Wellness this weekend.
Oh, yes.
Of course, this
That's right, I
weekend.
think you told me about this.
Sherwood Ford is participating in Wheels for Wellness. Check that out. They're raising money for the Stollery. Again, follow them on Twitter at Sherwood Ford and on Instagram at SherwoodFord_the Training camp, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, kicks off tomorrow officially for the Edmonton Oilers. So that means the boys are back in town. We already talked about Connor potentially missing the preseason. What I did want to talk about is Zach Cassian had a funny quote that came out today on Twitter.
Loved it.
He said, nobody should be walking around like our shit don't stink. We haven't accomplished what we wanted. We've let ourselves, the team, and the city down. We're coming in here ready to compete. My question for you guys is, this is not an unexpected quote from a guy like Cassian. He's a veteran. He's seen a lot. He's saying the things you want him to say. Does this stuff get you excited? Do you care? Are you too jaded? Are you guarded? Tyler?
I think it's all a part of kind of the hype of a new season, right? Having these guys come in here, like Leon today going, I don't care if I score less than 20 goals. If we make the playoffs, he said he'll be happy. And Cassian saying, we let the city down. We let ourselves down. We let the team down, all that. It's all just a part of the excitement of a new season. You get to read these fun quotes as a fan. You get a little bit jazzed up. You go, man, Cassian's clearly a man on a mission. He's scoring 25 this year. Fucking book it, right? That's all it's all a part of the fun.
I think next year what we should do is we should put together a bingo card.
Yeah.
And once you hit the bingo from camp day, then you win some nation gear or something.
We all go upstairs and we crush Fireball that's in that box waiting for us.
Yeah, I keep buying that up, man.
We should have brought it down here.
Oh, we should have.
All the crazy quotes are like all the quotes are kind of like the feel good quotes. I think the one that kind of stuck out to me was the Leon Draisaitl quote though.
So the Leon Draisaitl quote that both Tyler and Dan mentioned, he says, if I score 20 goals and we make the playoffs, I'll be very happy.
And I'll be very drunk.
Oh, but
well, and there's a guy that we just had the story break about Malkin where he chased Kessel out of town because Kessel was so worried about his
recap that real quickly for those who don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it broke out just overnight in the last 2 days, I think, that Evgeny Malkin asked for Kessel. He basically said it's either me or Kessel at this point because I don't want a guy on my team that is more concerned with his personal statistics than making the playoffs and winning a championship.
I love that. Man.
Which is just an absolute power move because who is going to choose anybody but
they
Malkin?
were boys at one point.
Yep.
Like Malkin and Kessel were friends, and then they had a big falling out last year, and that was part of the shit show. Like,
but how good is that fucking fire of Malkin?
Oh yeah.
Like that guy cares. You're a Penguins fan, and you're just like, okay, all right, we're going into another season, and Malkin's chased off the fucking fluff.
Phil ate Gino's hot dogs, and now Gino's pissed.
Can you imagine if like Dan went up to management here and was like, listen, can't stand Rick. It's me or him on the pod.
I'm out. I'm out. Best of luck to you guys. No, yeah, fair enough. Like if you're a Penguins fan, you're fucking pumped. If you're a Coyotes fan, there's another guy.
The way I think about it is, I wonder how much that kind of stuff happens all the time, but it's just this one came out. You know what I mean? And it not only did it come out, it was two high-profile players where it came out, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Phil takes so much shit no matter where he goes, whether it's from the media. Well, Steve Simmons has been hating on him for years now. It's just so funny that this guy will go out and he consistently rips points, but he is allegedly, in my opinion, a shitbag in the room. And just people like, God, he just has to go. Just has to go.
Goes to phantom hot dog vendors everywhere.
I want to interject with something. I don't know if I was sleeping for the whole offseason and missed this. Eric Greiba got a PTO.
Yep.
Yeah, he got a PTO in
just yesterday, though.
Oh, it was just yesterday?
Yeah, it's the same day they signed Mark Stone, which no one's really sure whether that's allowed or not.
It is. I believe it is because that's what you're referencing there is when you buy out a player, you're not supposed to be able to then re-sign him.
In the calendar year, is it the...
I think it's only for compliance buyouts.
It was the one freebie compliance buyout. Yeah. That was the rule, and everyone just thought it was going to be every buyout throughout the CBA. And obviously, since it's never happened, everyone just kept living under that assumption.
Arguably, it should be.
So
in my opinion,
he's getting 2 paychecks from these guys.
He is, but his cap number comes down. I think $3 million now.
Like the Oilers could have re-signed Sekera for $1 million and still been saving money, but Sekera would have made more money. Like. It's a weird wrinkle the Flames
How good would it be?
Here.
How good would it be if the Flames were the first ones to figure this out, and other teams were like, "Sorry, Sekera, we can't sign you because the rules." You know,
the Flames have made some interesting mistakes before, so I would sit back and wait because it was Ryan O'Reilly. They almost sold the farm for or something like that, and they technically didn't have a chance to get him. And they've done a couple weird things out there.
Wasn't his thing that he would have to go on waivers for the entire league to grab?
It was something silly like that.
Calgary was third on the waiver order or second on the waiver order, and Columbus was sitting there like, holy fuck, we can get Ryan O'Reilly for free.
Just to recap what the Flames have done this year, they have, of course, traded for Milan Lucic.
Can we just make the fart noise every time you talk about the Flames?
They signed Cam Talbot. Tobias Reeder has been invited in on a PTO, and now Eric Greiba is in on a PTO as well. My joke that all summer long the Flames are picking up Oilers cast-offs just keeps looking better and better. And I am occupying 2-bedroom condos in the minds of Flames fans everywhere. And I love it. I love it.
I noticed Rexall's out of seats. Did we just ship those down the highway too? Are they going to put those in the Saddle Dome?
Yeah, that was
I'm surprised that's not going to be their new arena. We're just going to lift. It's that I suck at picking gif of they're just going to take Rexall, they're going to move it down the highway, and there's your new arena. Enjoy.
So he's going to do like the Simpsons things where they did the whole Trump coming down, and like 20 years later it actually happens.
Absolutely.
I suck at picking says, we're going to ship the old Rexall down the highway, and they are getting their new arena. Do they even know this? Like, we're tearing it down, it folds up real nicely, put it on the back of a flatbed, whip it down there, bring it back out.
Yeah, man.
Where do you guys think
It all works.
Where do you guys think that jumbotron from Rexall Place ends up?
It's going to end up in this
I'm
studio.
hoping it'd be right here where this light bulb
We're
is.
going to take.
Good God.
We're going to take away any remaining space we have in this room we're in, and we're just going to put the jumbotron right in the middle.
One light bulb in your face just blinking.
2 guys and a goalie's going to kick off, and you can't see Dusty, Matt Cassian, or Joaquin Gage. You can't see any of them. All you see is scoreboard.
Well, no, that's what we have the cameras for, because then we put the cameras on them, and then that comes up on the scoreboard.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Right?
That'd be nice.
Man, I don't have the technical experience to do any of this.
We got Mike A.
Yeah, Mike
okay,
A's here.
good. Mike's doing it.
Yeah,
We got it.
He's fine. I want to get back to Leon's quote where he says, if I score 20 less goals, which would still be a 30-goal season. I saw some whiners on Twitter being like, oh, if he scores 20 goals less, that's bad. Let's not pretend like a 30-goal season is some fucking slouch.
He said 20 goals less, and
Make
we
the
make the playoffs. I don't care if he has fucking reader numbers, and we make the fucking playoffs.
The point is exactly that he's not worried about what he puts up on the score sheet as long as the Oilers are in the fucking playoffs. And that's what people need to focus on, not the fucking goal shit.
And that's an underrated part about having all these guys locked up to long-term deals. Like, not that it would ever really be an issue with Connor McDavid, but having him, having Leon, even having guys like Klefbom and stuff, like the fact that they have still term left on their deals, I feel like it just has you almost playing a more team-focused game.
You have no other options.
If you're sitting there at game 41 and you're Leon and you have 15 goals, it's not like, oh, fuck. In the back of your head, you're not like, oh my God, what's my next deal going to look like? Holy shit. It's like, hey, man, we just got to win some cups.
Yeah, so he's got a timeline in front of him. They all do. And they're like, okay, let's get at it. It's not just a one-year thing.
So I think what we're all agreeing again, nobody cares that Leon would be happy to score 30 goals and still make the playoffs.
I would be happy if no one on the Oilers scored more than 20 goals, but they made the playoffs. I'd be happy.
100%.
Well, that's, yeah.
Mikko Koskinen has a .987 save percentage in that
Yes.
situation, but you
And
know
20,
what I mean.
And 20 goals.
Right, like if McDavid doesn't win MVP and they don't get a single major award other than a fucking cup, like no one sits at the end of the year and goes, would have been nice though, like the cup would have been better if McDavid had the heart.
Imagine us writing the article about the NHL awards and being like, we didn't get anything. Oh yeah, but the fucking Stanley Cup is the Edmonton Oilers. Who gives a shit?
People are whiners.
Yep.
Naturally.
I'm in full Kool-Aid mode right now, and you
Me
guys
too.
are harshing my buzz. Rick's even got his fucking Oilers shoes on.
I got my preseason shoes on. There's the last year's versions. I have 2 new pairs for this year. I still have the orange and the blue mixed up shoes. I've got 5 or 6 pairs of Oilers shoes. I'm ready to go. Let's get the season going.
Yeah, man. Like I'm still drinking the Kool-Aid too. Like I think 40 goals for Leon is doable. I'm excited for James Neal to play with Nuge and score 25 goals. Like
27,
28, 29. I don't care. He's scoring a lot though.
I don't think that there's anybody in the Edmonton Oilers fandom, especially in the nation, that doesn't drink the Kool-Aid at this time of the season.
Yeah.
We're
I don't
all
know,
fucking
man.
hyped.
I don't know, man. You need to spend more time moderating that comment section.
Well, fair enough.
I'll add that to your task list.
There's so
You're
many.
trying to cover up a cough, and now you have like a, what is this thing called? A lav mic, and you
Yes.
can't do shit about it, Tyler.
He even has access to
leaning
the
back.
buttons.
He's leaning back, but it's going with him.
He's leaning back, and the mic is following him. He's leaving the room. There goes Tyler. Oh man, these lav mics have changed the game up. Tyler is dying. He is gone.
So I think we might be looking for a new producer who knows how to use these big TV screens over here.
We need to get you a cough button, bro.
6 episodes ago,
He's back.
Tyler just
He looks
ranted about me sneezing and coughing. And
looks
he
fine.
has the cough button. He
He's
didn't
back.
even use it.
He's back.
He didn't
looks
even
good.
use it.
Need a little water. Get himself settled. Just get
Nice.
back on that grind, man.
This is what
Every
we need
day's
to
a great day.
This is why we need to live stream this stuff.
Now I need to decide if I want to edit this out or not.
No, I don't think so.
Nope.
I think this is going in. This is
is
real
live-
life.
this is live
This
stream.
is just how it goes, baby. This is podcast studio episode 1.0.
That Velcro sound is good.
Thank you.
Well, Tyler is readjusting his
I'm
microphone,
in.
getting back in the game. I am here to tell you about our friends at skipthedishes.ca. They have literally hundreds of restaurants available. They will bring it to your house. Maybe you want a nice chicken curry. Maybe you're feeling a nice little chicken curry.
That sounds good.
See, Rick's in. Go to skipthedishes.ca. You find a place that sells some chicken curry, and you bring it to your house. Maybe you want a nice pad thai. You're like, oh, the news is on. Oodle Noodle's on Skip the Dishes. I'll just go there and I'll order a nice pad thai. Maybe I want whatever. Maybe I want 15 spicy chickens from Popeyes. Maybe that's what I want.
Is this the time and place to push out like, hey, Skip, have you met my friend Arby's? Arby's, have you met my friend Skip?
Yes.
Can you guys sit down? You know, I will fill the contracts. Like, what do we got to do here?
What we need to do is we need to get Arby's on Skip the Dishes because I love Skip the Dishes and I love Arby's. And this is a marriage that needs to happen.
It needs to. And can we get Arby's in the same building as Popeyes, like Taco Bell and KFC was back in the day?
That would save
would save me gas.
That would save your tours. Or it would save your Skip the Dishes driver gas because he could just go next door.
Yeah, one to the other, bang, bring it back to my place. Let's go.
Skipthedishes.ca. Go get yourself something to eat. Get yourself fed. Get yourself 15 spicy chicken sandwiches from Popeyes. Why? Because you're hungry and you need sustenance. You're a growing boy or girl, whatever you are, whatever pronoun you use. I will accept it. Skipthedishes.ca, they will too. They will bring you food. Now, Evan Bouchard is making his second training camp appearance for the Edmonton Oilers. Last year, he cracked the lineup, played a few games. There was some shenanigans before he was sent down.
Was there?
Word on the street was that Peter Chiarelli wanted to keep him around all year.
Idiots.
Tom McClellan gave his greatest gift to the Oilers ever by saying, no, I'm not playing him, send him down. Shout out to Tom McClellan.
Thanks, Todd.
I bet he's got a bunch of new suits for his gig in LA. Fresh haircut. Back to Evan Bouchard.
Do you think it's going a little darker, his hair?
I bet it's getting lighter with the sunshine.
Yeah, the sun.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, he's got to get some of that purple
Good
shampoo
point.
that girls use to make sure that shit don't go yellow.
Less stress down there, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to LA in December.
Humble brag.
Yeah.
This is a travel guy.
Not a big deal.
What are you
But
going?
I'm gonna go see. I think I'll go see a Kings game.
Are
But
you going to Disneyland?
I don't know.
You driving?
No, flying.
What is the plan? Why are you going there?
I'm gonna go check out Rams and Seahawks on Sunday night.
Have you been to an NFL game before?
Been to one a few years ago in Arizona.
Are
But
you
fun,
taking?
man.
Are you taking the family?
no, just me and my girlfriend. So we probably will go to Disneyland. I don't think she's ever been. So
Are you going to
You're not
start a
going to bring
family?
your kid.
am I gonna start a family?
Yeah.
You're not bringing your kid to Disneyland. Oh boy, that is drama.
Some people might not get the joke. I don't have a kid.
Back to Evan Bouchard, I want to talk to you guys about realistically whether or not Ken Holland being the GM of the Edmonton Oilers in his second year affects his ability to perhaps crack the lineup this year. Obviously, Ken Holland was known in Detroit for letting guys marinate in the minors.
He had a hell of a team in front of him, though.
That's true. We're going to factor all these things in. After I read this quote from Ken Holland, you guys think, if a young player isn't in the lineup, he's going to the American Hockey League. If he is in the lineup, then we have further conversations about where he fits. I'd rather make the call during the season to call a player up than make the call during the season to send him down. I think it's easier for their mind and mentality to be working their way up than working their way down. Young players have to take a job from a veteran, meaning he has to be in the lineup every night. Rick, his hand is in the air. He's very polite.
A quick aside here. I believe that would have been fantastic last year with somebody that wears a number that's real close to Wayne Gretzky's number.
Somebody that can lick his
that's
own
too
eyelids?
big. Yeah.
Holy.
Yep. Yeah. It's. I think that quote right there just kind of says that he's not fucked, but it's like a good. It's a good thing for Evan.
You know what? I still read it as he needs to take a spot, and I've said it for months now that I think that ever since they said Russell's going to be a lefty, and then they said Nurse and Larson are together, that obviously leaves a spot open with Klefbom getting probably more offensive minutes. I don't believe that's where you want to put Benning. I think Benning is perfect where he is. Therefore, there's a spot left open up there that's going to have a lot of offensive minutes. You can need a right-hand shot. And I've said it's going to be between Bouchard and Persson for however long now. And Klefbom did say today it looks like he's going to be starting off with Persson, which is fine. But Bouchard's going to have, it's going to be 50-50, 60-40. Bouchard's going to have an opportunity there. Whoever wins that spot will be playing day one there.
Back to Ken Holland, he says, my philosophy has always been to be very patient with young players. Now, I did put Dylan Larkin on the Detroit Red Wings when he was 19. So for every rule, there's an exception. I thought Bouchard played very well in the 2 rookie games. I think he was our best conditioned athlete of all the rookies. He put in the work this summer. Tip and I are looking forward to watching preseason and seeing how it all shapes out. We're going to have to carry 7, and he is not fighting for a 7th spot. He's fighting for a top 6 spot. My philosophy always has been when you're putting the roster together, I'll say to the coach, who's playing tomorrow? Just tell me who's in the lineup. So I guess that means if Bouchard is kind of the 7th D-man, he's
not playing 7. Everybody in this room will agree he's not the 7th defenseman.
No, you can't have
He's
that.
either with Klefbom or he's going back down.
Yeah.
You can't have
Like,
that.
there's no other option for
What
him.
does your right side look like right now? So we know Daryl's playing with Adam Larson.
Yeah.
Klefbom today says that he thinks he'll be starting at least with Persson in training camp.
And then Benning is the last one. So it's Bouchard / Persson, whichever one.
Yeah.
And then it's Larson, and then it's Benning.
Do you think that Persson being a little bit older gives him extra leash, or does that not matter?
I think him not being a highly coveted prospect who they're really like trying to develop, obviously everyone, you're trying to improve all your players, but they're not sitting there going like, in 5 years we need Joel Persson to be a top 4 D-man, right? It's not that same developmental trajectory. Like if Persson's your 7th D, no one in the organization or none of the fans are going to be like, you're wasting him.
No, exactly. Persson can play that 17, swap in and out with 5, 6, 7 guys. They can do a little cycle, but you can't do that with Bouchard.
The thing that would be interesting to me is if Persson proves he can play with Klefbom and starts the year with Klefbom, then who's your 7th D? Is Holland okay with Ethan Bear being that guy? Is Holland okay with Caleb Jones being that guy? Because then it gets interesting, because they don't really have another veteran just hanging around.
Did you think they would go fishing in the waiver wire for that?
No.
Yeah, you could.
No, I think you look at the AHL. I mean, you got Day down there. Can you bring up Keegan Law? I mean, you're just looking for a guy who's going to be able to handle the job, and it's going to be very sporadic until Christmas time when one of these other kids takes it.
You're telling me a guy that we scouted for 2 years is not going to be in the mix today?
Oh, I forgot Brandon Manning was still around.
Oh, fuck, Manning's still here.
Dude, he's not here.
I don't know.
Dude, I don't think, is he even on?
He was at the golf tournament. He won the long drive comp.
Well, there's that.
Congratulations, my friend.
No, that's a good point. Because swapping out Manning for someone like Caleb Jones only saves you $300,000.
It's not. He's not the worst guy to have as your oh shit, we don't have a guy tonight kind of thing.
Yeah, until you're practicing and Connor's going around him in practice and he takes him to the goddamn post again.
The thing is, and it's just, to me, it's like the cool thing to see would be, are we saying that it's either Persson or Bouchard? Or do we think that maybe Persson and Bouchard could be in there?
Persson and Bouchard could be there, but it won't be Bouchard being 7. It'll be Persson being 7.
Yeah, Bouchard would be
Benning.
1.
I was thinking Benning might even slide into that 7 spot.
Honestly, Matt
I don't
Benning's...
think so. A contract, though. Unless I would think as a 7th defenseman, they would move him out, no?
No, Benny you want in your 3rd pairing, man. I think that's a little bit too much for him to eat going up to the 1st. And he's really, really situated fine in that third spot.
Nick, you don't have a mic, so we need you to yell. You're the 5th vote on this. Yell something.
Well, okay. Can you hear me, Ty?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Wow, that was awkward.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm actually working on something with all these newcomers that are coming into the team, and I was looking at Persson early this morning, and the one concern, obviously Rick is correct, I would say, in that he's kind of either with Klefbom or he's not in the top 6. The one concern you have to have, though, is adjusting to the NHL ice coming from Sweden and leaning on him to play top 4 minutes. He is a very offensive player. He led his team in power play time. In fact, he led the Lakers in power play time. So
played with LeBron? Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Then Davis took a spot.
Can you say the city for us?
Jeez.
Vaxo? I don't know.
Okay.
So anyway, Los Angeles Lakers.
I think that
Tyler doesn't like you being off mic, by the way.
Yeah, it's really driving me insane.
Keep going, Nick.
Get it out. Say your take.
Keep going.
It's his position to lose, in my opinion.
Okay.
But Caleb Jones has talked about playing the right side, so...
And what do you think about Bouchard's chances?
Dan just keeps asking questions to piss Tyler off.
Should I just lean up to Dan's breast to his chest?
Get in there. Get in there for the real thing.
Bouchard should play fully in the NHL.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
Unless he
has the chops.
Unless he takes it.
And Nick,
I've said that from I'm not giving him nothing, but if he comes out and takes a spot, you can't put him back in the AHL just because he's 19 or 20 or whatever the hell it is.
Hold on.
If he
If
takes
you're
the
listening
spot,
to this right now,
he's got to
just-
take the spot.
If you're listening to this right now, I just wish I could take a picture. I should take a picture of Tyler's face.
Tyler's
when I do
face.
this. Just to like see the rage building.
I
It's
have
just
one
like,
more
would you
question for Nick.
fucking stop.
I have one more question for Nick. What do you think of Brandon Manning's chances?
Nobody likes Brandon Manning.
I think Brandon Manning has a chance of driving a ball 400 yards.
There you go.
Brandon Manning's gonna have problems getting into a regular game in Bakersfield.
That's true.
yes.
He was a healthy
He was a
scratch
healthy
last
scratch.
year.
Yeah.
When you go back and you look at who the defensemen are, he was a healthy scratch last year. Now they have a couple extra guys. Like you literally,
Well, yeah, 'cause
ECHL. See it, bud.
Bouchard and Samorikov came in, and
I'm curious to see how Samorikov does. Not necessarily in camp, his first pro year.
Yep.
I'm really curious to see how he does in Bakersfield. Sticking with the defense, Josh Morrissey just signed an 8x625 AAV. So 8 years, 6.25 million per. My question for you, gentlemen, is what does that do for Darnell Nurse's contract? He is in the last year of that bridge deal he worked out with Chiarelli. Last year, Darnell had 41 points, 10 goals, and 31 assists in 82 games. That was a 0.5 points per game. His career is 0.345 points per game. Josh Morrissey had 31 points in 59 games, 6 goals, and 25 assists for 0.52 points per game. His career is slightly lower than Darnell's with a 0.32. Tyler, tell me what this means for Darnell, aside from Kaching.
Kaching, yeah, but I think he was going to get the old Kaching anyways. This is just a good comparable for each side to use. At the end of this year, the Oilers are either going to go and say, listen, we don't think you're as impactful as someone like Josh Morrissey. We want you around the 5.5, 5.75 range. And Darnell Nurse might go, listen, I'm going to be even better than Josh Morrissey. I want something around 6.75, 7 mil. And I think that's where the conversation starts now. It just gives each side a really good, firm, recent talking point on negotiations.
Yeah, I think it sets a floor for him. I don't think he gets very much less than him.
Ooh, Morrissey's pretty damn good, man.
So I went over the numbers as per Puckpedia, and last season he beat him in all your normal stats, and he beat him in your fantasy stats. And I think that's just where the conversation's going to go back to when it comes to the agent and the GM. So I think 6.2. I don't think he gets to 7. But 6.25 to 6.75 right in there. The best thing about this is, to me, it says he won't be a part of this RFA bullshit that's happening this year.
the one caveat I would throw in there though is that Nurse's numbers were inflated because of injury. It's not necessarily a slight against Nurse because it shows that he has the talent, but it's just that he won't have, hopefully, knock on wood, he doesn't have the same injury opportunities that he did last year.
Nurse,
Yeah, like he did get some power play time and all that. Though that helped his
he
numbers.
deserves power play time, I think.
Yeah,
I'd put him on my second, no problem.
He's not a good passer. That's always been the knock on Nurse, and I think that's going to stay the knock on Nurse for a while.
Okay, but if on the power play, who's passing the puck out there? To be fair, that guy should be shooting, and that's almost it.
Yeah, but as your D-man who's quarterbacking it with 4 forwards,
Well, I
you
think
need
even
to
that
move
point,
the
I think
puck
when
up ice.
97's out there, he's still quarterbacking it for the most part, right? It's all going to go through him.
I like Klefbom as a power play guy, and I might even like Persson this year. I might even like Benning a little bit more.
Well, and
See,
that's
and I
where-
said, Nurse on the second one. I
Yeah.
wouldn't put him ahead of Klefbom.
And that's where the conversation is. If Bouchard makes the team,
Yeah.
Persson makes the team, then things get jostled around. So
And that's fine.
Or Ethan Bear, man. Ethan Bear's a guy who
He's
kind
got a
of
bomb.
he fell off a little bit last year. Caleb Jones jumped him on the depth chart a bit, but again,
got
that's
hurt.
a guy you need to look at.
He got hurt before Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he was hurt for a bit.
Yeah.
I wonder if with a guy like Ethan Bear, if kind of being passed on the depth chart is added a little chip to the shoulder. You got to think so, right?
I think I
Because he
said this
played
last
18
week.
games with the Oilers a few seasons ago to close out the year. Scored a big power play goal. Everyone went bananas because he's got a fucking hammer on him.
Who?
Get your mind out of the gutter, Nick. I'm talking about slap shots. Do you think that he's kind of...
I think this could fuel his summer. So I was listening today, and they said he looks like he's in incredible shape, which I
check
get.
that off. Check that off. on
That
the
is
bingo.
the
Can't
average
bingo.
thing. But when they do look better, they look bigger. Whatever they're going to say it. So I think he's going to have that type of year where he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's going to prove something.
Well, for Jones, for Lagesson, for Bear, this is kind of your make or break year because next year you're waiver eligible, man. Like, this is your shot to make a final impression because next summer, if the Oilers look at you and go, well, we probably don't want to lose you on waivers, it might be you're shipped out of town. Like, for those 3 guys who are getting to that age, this is make or break time.
Well, Russell's gone, so that obviously opens up fucking Caleb's spot. And the right side just being as questionable as it is.
To be clear, you're not saying Russell is gone. You're saying that you think he's going to be gone.
Well, by this time next year, there's very little chance.
You were
he's
saying
gone.
upstairs you thought there's even a trade on the table for him now.
I
You're
think
just guessing.
I think they're at least they have their foot out the door in that situation, just because once they said that Russell's going to be a left side, it takes the right side out of it. So now he's definitely not ahead of Nurse nor Klefbom. And if Caleb is what we think he is, Caleb could easily pass him just based on the fact that he can maneuver the puck out of the zone far better than him. Yeah, he's not going to lay down and block shots the same way, but if you're moving the puck out, you don't need that anymore. And then, so I can see them holding on to him right now just to see. And you got to realize, you look at every GM in this league, they're going to bring in a guy like Chris Russell. He's a hockey guy.
Pete Chiarelli got a job, so.
He's a hockey guy. He's a guy. He's your cow. He's.
If you could have moved him, you would have moved him already. If you could have moved him, you would have moved him without buying out Sekera.
But to Rick's point there, if you move him now, you're forcing your hand.
Yeah,
you're forcing
but you
a
can
Caleb
save
Jones.
him.
You're forcing a.
We'll see what happens in camp. We'll see what happens in preseason.
Could have moved him before you bought out Sekera then and kept Sekera around.
But I think they're so terrified that Sekera is going to take one hit and get blown up that's where it is. That he's going to take one hit and that's the end of him. And then all of a sudden you're in the exact same spot as you move Russell right now.
Forced again. Yeah.
I just, with 2 more years still left on his deal, I'm not buying that there's a Russell deal out there to just grab. I hope there is. I hope I'm wrong.
And even if there's not a deal out there right now, I think they're going to open the door to the possibility of moving him. Whereas, this time last year, that door was firmly closed. These new guys come in, they say right away he's a left shot, he's got to play the left side. That puts him way back. And at $4 million, when you're going to sign all these new guys, Darnell's going to need a new contract next year.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden you drop a 4.25 for a guy who's making $850 when the talent level is going to be relatively the same. As we saw ups and downs on them,
and as Bag Milk always says, everybody could use a cowboy.
Absolutely. You know what I've been thinking about though, because we talked about how everybody shows up to camp and they're in the best shape of their life. It reminds me of that story that came out about Jake Dotchin. Did I say his last name right?
Yeah.
Jake Dotchin showed up to Tampa Bay Lightning camp 30 pounds overweight. That is fucking awesome. You literally had one job to do, bro, and you showed up way fast.
Doesn't Bufflin do this every year?
Yeah, but I feel like
he sheds it like he used to play, in the 70s or something like that. Walking up with like a 40 and a cigarette, and all right, let's get the camp going here. I gotta get back in shape.
So this was from September last year. Jake Dotchin showed up to Tampa Bay Lightning's camp 30 pounds overweight. Bob McKenzie said in this article that I'm reading that it could have been 35 pounds overweight. I just love that, man. I love everything about that. We talk about guys being like, I'm in the best shape of my life, and this guy rolls in, he's like, I had a hard summer,
Dude, what do you think Phil looks like? What do you think Kessel looks like?
Oh, because he's big dick swinging down in Phoenix now, too, so he's just like...
But look at him like after a Stanley Cup year. What do you think he looked like on day one of camp?
You know what I
like the VO2, he just got on the bike and he's like 3 or 4 spins around. He's like, yeah, last place, no problem. I'll go pop 40 goals this year, and you guys can worry about my lungs. I don't give a shit.
I can't wait until Phil Kessel retires. That dude is going to be a Goodyear blimp.
Oh, dude, but his stories are going to be fucking phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
You know what else is phenomenal, boys? The service and food that you can get from skipthedishes.ca. I bet Phil Kessel uses skipthedishes.ca, even though he's in Phoenix. It's a long delivery wait, but I bet he uses it. Oh, you can probably get hot dogs on Skip the Dishes. I assume you can. Of course you can. If you are hungry, if you need nourishment, if you are feeling weak, head on over to Skip the Dishes and get something to eat. Maybe a nice curry, like I mentioned earlier. Tyler, you got something to say? Are you hungry? You're always hungry.
No, do we want to get to Coombs hypothetical?
Of course we do.
All right, you
ready?
ready?
Why are you pushing through my ad read?
Jeez.
He is pushing through our sponsors' ad
read.
read.
No, I thought you were done. That's why you threw it.
Also, I have to throw out too, once again, week 2 in a row, we have these beautiful copy ads at the end of ads that you've created.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And you haven't played them.
You're listening to Oilersnation Radio, a member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
That guy has great hair.
Tom Gazzola is very handsome.
Sorry, finish your ad, Bag Milk.
Tom Gazzola would like me to tell you about skipthedishes.ca.
No, you just made him a spokesperson.
Absolutely, I did. Tom is a very, very avid user of Skip the Dishes. He is always hungry, and he is always fed. Thank you, skipthedishes.ca. Now we are going to get to Coombs hypothetical. If you didn't know, if you don't remember, one Cameron Lewis is gallivanting around the UK right now, but he is still in the mix. He is still sending us hypotheticals. Tyler, what has he got?
So imagine it's all the way back in January, and Daryl Cates calls you into his office, and Peter Chiarelli's just been fired, and he says, all right, look, this is just the beginning. We are firing everybody. We're cleaning house. Bob Nicholson's getting fired. Everybody's getting fired. You are stepping into Bob Nicholson's role. And Kate says, okay, we're getting rid of the old boys club. we want a new boys club. So all the old Oilers 80s boys that are in front office roles are gone, and your job is to replace them and create a new boys Oilers front office. And the caveat is that it has to be all former Oilers that played after the 1980s. So you got to find yourself a GM, an assistant GM, a head scout, a coach, and all of that, but it all has to be former Oilers from after the 1980s. Who do you hire for what roles and why?
I'm gonna piss them off and go, the majority of all the old boys players all played in the fucking 90s, so whatever. But Kevin, I know that's not the point of it. However,
coach, yeah. All right, let's just start. We'll go through Cam's thing. You can tell he's been drinking Guinness a little bit.
Oh yeah, he was mumbly in there a little bit.
He's half in the bag.
Couple of JMOs.
Cam's having JMOs. He was telling me he was at the Belfast Giants game. I don't know if we talked about this.
We didn't.
He was at the Belfast Giants game and he was drinking double JMOs, and they were 10 pounds each, which is like $22.
That's a heavy drink.
I was gonna say his arms are gonna be jacked by the time he gets back here. Hey,
he's pounding back 10-pound drinks.
Like goddamn Vegas.
Let's start with the coach. If you're gonna pick a 90s or later,
it's easy.
Go ahead, Tyler. You already got your
answer. Doug Waite.
He's already out there.
Nope. He's already out there, and your assistant is already out there as well. It's Mike Greer.
Oh, nope. I'm gonna steal the coach and go with somebody else. I'm fairly certain he wore the Oiler jersey at least in camp and preseason. I'd assume he got a little bit of regular season there, but Rocky Thompson.
Yeah, I don't mind that. He was an assistant coach at one point.
Right.
The head coach.
He's an up-and-coming coach right now, as far as I...
We got a staff. There you go. But Dan wants to throw a wrinkle in.
The head coach is Igor Ulanov, because he don't take no shit from anybody.
He's going to teach people how to block shots with his face.
Sebastian Bissalion could be an assistant.
Absolutely. A skills coach, maybe.
Player development.
I'm going to put Smitty as an offensive coach, just because why not?
You gotta have Smitty.
But is there someone?
Chris Pronger.
Oh yeah, there you
go.
Bill Guerin.
I was going to go Bill Guerin.
Bill Guerin.
Oh yeah, Billy Guerin. Fuck.
I don't mind Billy Guerin, but I'm going off the board and going to go with Chris Pronger as a guy that's not going to get pushed around by a lot of people.
Honestly, you can build a hell of a staff going like 2000s Oilers only.
What about his wife? Chris Pronger. Got pushed around by his wife. Had to leave the city.
Yikes.
Change teams.
Allegedly, in history's opinion. Okay, so we've got our coach. We've got our GM.
Goalie coach.
Billy.
Goalie coach?
Billy.
Ranford?
Hey, how about this for a goalie coach? Curtis Muka.
Oh, I thought
he was an emergency backup for like 2 or 3 games, and now he runs a successful goaltending school in the city.
All right, I'm going to go with Mike Morrison because he was great in the shootout.
Yeah, but Ranford could slip the puck onto the cheater every time and then hand it to the ref.
Got to go with Curtis Joseph.
And then I will go with Roley because he could bat pucks out of the air like
Mike Pekka and Dwayne Rollison connection in the playoffs. Oh, baby.
All right, so we're working through this. We've got a coach, we got a GM, we got a goalie coach. We need a head scout. Tyler, what do you think for a head scout?
Sean Horkoff or friend of the Real Life podcast, Laddie Schmid. There's a couple good candidates right there, but Horkoff would be a legit one.
So I'm going to go with a guy that was successful at his junior career, but not the same offensive guru that he was back in the junior career. Daniel Cleary. A guy that could identify the diamonds in the rough and identify the guys that are a little overblown.
He was, in fact, a diamond in the rough. I'm going to go with another guest of the Real Life podcast. I know he's working on his coaching career right now, but I'm going to go with Kelly Buckberger.
Yeah, I think Bucky would be a good guy to put there.
He talks about, if you haven't listened to that interview, go back and listen to it. He talks about what it takes to be an NHL player, what he looks for in a player. And it was just super interesting. He was a very interesting dude to talk to.
Just to piss off Cooom, can we say Mac T?
Oh, absolutely.
I think my communications guy would be George the Rock.
My communications guy would be Mac T. Why George the Rock?
Because
you're a big fan of George the Rock's biggest hits.
I want to give him a job.
Yeah, you just want him back in the fold.
How good would he be though? Like if you run a negative piece on them and he just shows up at your door, like, oh.
Well, I heard he did that once or twice when he was a player.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So there you go, right there. the Oilers have their new guy to run the show.
Come on. Put a couple extra T-shirts on him. Put him in the stands. Let him be the dancing guy.
Turn into the dancing
guy.
Oh,
I'd watch that.
Come on.
That. All right, we need a team doctor, and since we can't pick Randy Gregg, this one's going to get weird.
Oh, it's got to be Sheldon Surrey. No? The guy who got the infection in his hand and blamed that on everybody.
But there has to be some Oiler who has like a medical background now, right? Like someone's career had to have been cut short.
He brings it up all the time. Struddy.
Jason
Yeah,
Strudwick is now the team
Struddy
doctor.
might be our
College.
doctor.
Okay. Jason Strudwick is now the team doctor.
Congrats.
We are moving through this. Is there any other positions that we're missing?
Assistant GM.
We need an AGM.
Well,
to
I think
help
we
out
kind of got
the-
that. We can do Garen and Pronger, I think.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, let them work together.
I'm going to make up a graphic of this staff and get it out there.
I think we should.
I like this. Any other positions we're missing? Like main ones? I don't want to go through assistant coaches.
No.
Like
and then, well, we
director-
kind of did that too, though.
Yeah, I guess.
We got Garen, and then we got Mike Greer and Rocky Thompson.
Yeah.
What about the director of fan experience at Rogers Place?
Who would be able to show him a good time?
What, now
'Cause,
we're
like-
getting rid of Hunter? Is that what you're saying? Hunter is now
Are
jobless?
we talking about guys in charge of showing people a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah, and getting the
Stoli
atmosphere
and
going.
Torres. Stoli and Torres. The atmosphere?
Yeah.
Stoli and Torres.
All right.
I like it.
You guys can look up the reason for that one on your own, allegedly, in his
Yeah.
opinion. Anybody else? Anything else? Nothing?
No, I think we got our whole staff right there.
How's that, Cooom? Enjoy Ireland. You
I was
fuck.
expecting him to say something. I was like, oh, yeah, that was a recording.
No, right now he is actually tweeting about the Vancouver Canucks.
I saw that.
So he is in the mix, but not in the mix. I want to talk about some rumors that are going around the NHL. Tyler today, every Thursday, in fact, has the weekly rumor roundup.
And the readers hate it.
Yeah, it's currently ranked 31%.
It dropped 8 more percent?
31%. Tyler, this rumor article is not going your way, pal. However,
Have people commented as to why they hate it?
no.
That's the beauty of our new system.
Just the old
There's
0
no-
on the Yelp, but no constructive criticism behind it.
There's
Yeah,
no
that's right.
accountability for the readers anymore. They can just give you their full feedback and you don't get to see it.
Not only that, you don't even have to have a Nation account to vote on these articles.
Oh, yeah.
my God. That's
So you can
disgusting.
just go in blind and you can vote on Tyler. You know what you can do? You can get a good VPN. You can roll that IP and absolutely sewer this article. You can vote down as many times as you want. I'm going to go ahead and vote down right now. Sad.
We just
sad.
we just make sad Tyler's suggestions.
With my sad vote now, Tyler, you were at 28% on your rumors article.
He's right up there with the Connor McDavid unlikely to play in the preseason.
I want to talk about some rumors, though, because Elliot Friedman on the amazing 31 Thoughts article that he does every week talks a little bit about Jesse Puljujarvi. Tyler, I know you're a big Puljujarvi guy. What did Friedman have for us?
Friedman had 2 notes on the Oilers. He had some stuff in there about RNH on the 31 Thoughts podcast too, but the first one was that he heard some of the rumblings about Patrick Marleau potentially coming to Edmonton, and he threw cold water on it, said he doesn't see it as a fit. Personally, that doesn't surprise me at all. Why would Marleau come here? Why would the Oilers want an older winger? If he could play in the top 6, great, but he's 40 years old in a couple of days. He's not a top 6 winger anymore. He's slowed down with the Leafs in the playoffs. So to me, the signing, that rumor never made sense, and Friedman kind of confirmed that it makes no sense.
Unfortunate. It would have been nice to see Nuge going over there and he's having Thanksgiving with Patrick Marleau or whatever. Anyway.
And then the other one was the Jesse Puljujarvi thing. We're all sick of talking about it, but he said the Oilers had talked to Carolina and Tampa Bay, which again we've heard 100 times. Julian Gauthier again was the name mentioned by Friedman from Carolina, and Alexander Volkov was the name mentioned from Tampa Bay.
Of those two, which would you prefer?
Volkov, I think. He's not as big. He's 6'2", 175 pounds. But he was a point game guy last year in the AHL. So if you can get a guy like that, I think you're looking at him. He's a right shot, I believe. No, he's a left shot, sorry.
How old is he?
I think he's 22. So
he's a young guy.
He's a young guy.
He's been in the AHL.
Younger, he's been in the
Check.
AHL. There's a reason that name makes sense, but Friedman says the Oilers couldn't get it to a spot where they felt comfortable, and to me, that leads me to believe the Oilers wanted a pick or a conditional pick, and they just couldn't agree to terms on anything like that.
So do you feel the Oilers are sitting back wanting a larger sum for him? Because that's what I'm getting. That's what the feeling I'm getting out of this. And I kind of like that.
Yeah.
That we're not just giving them away, that we expect something back in return.
Pistol Pete would have pulled the trigger on any trade.
Oh, Pistol Pete would have traded him for a 4th-round pick months ago.
Yep.
You know it would have happened. Speaking of Jesse Puljujarvi, we have the one and only Jay Downton is in Finland right now watching Jesse Puljujarvi play, watch, past tense. And the only review I can find from Jay's Twitter account is, so far on my Finnish hockey scouting trip, Pizza Party hasn't done anything to stand out through one period. Trust Uncle Ken.
Hold on, I've got, so I asked about this as well. At the end of the game, I said, could we get a full scouting report, please? Said, he didn't really stand out except for a breakaway he missed. Made a lot of nervous passes. This was his first game of the regular season. So then I came back and I asked them about his hips. and if he was going back to his own end. Hips looked fine, always came back to help.
To be fair to Jesse, he was playing his first game in front of Jay in years. He
shook his hand a couple of months ago.
He was playing a great game in front of our friend Larvinen. So that's a lot of pressure to put on a guy, you know? It's tough.
And Jay is a very harsh critic. So there's your Jesse Puljujarvi update from Tyler, from
Please
Jay
come back,
in
Jessa.
Finland.
Our streak is like 26 episodes in a row.
We are going to talk about Jesse Puljujarvi until we're all dead. That's how this podcast goes. Lastly, I just want to mention really quickly that we still have a few spots remaining on the Nation trip to Vegas. That is February 25th, 27th.
Get on this right now.
You
Trust
need
me,
to go.
It is a good time.
It is a great time. So the day we get there, we're going to have a viewing party for the game against the Anaheim Ducks. The next night, we are going to the game against the Golden Knights. And we are on the all-inclusive party deck, which is probably one of the best deals in hockey that you
free
can find.
Bud Lights and free hot dogs.
It's a late start for the game too, so we got a ton of time to put in a shift.
Well, there's no sleeping in Vegas.
Tyler, you're coming, right?
Yeah.
So this all-inclusive party deck, buddy.
Yeah.
I tipped the guy. It was like $20 US, right, when I walked in, and he would not let me walk by without throwing 2 beers to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's not
I was buckled.
Like people
He
in
was
Edmonton
really
have been to the Sportsnet Club and they've experienced the all-inclusive here. It's not Vegas. It's just not.
I'm so excited.
Well, Vegas is Vegas, so no one's gonna be there. But we're right beside like their drum
castle
line and everything. So I stood there and I liked to yell at games and I liked to chirp. So I was having a great time going back and forth to them until we started losing, in which case I had to tail between the legs and go have a couple extra Bud Lights and hot dogs and shut up. But I can't wait to get back there, because if we win, I'm going to let all those guys over there, right over there, know it's a great time.
February 25th to 27th, go to nationgear.ca. We still have a few spots left. We sold out our first run. We released some more tickets. This is going to sell out, and you are going to miss out. You don't want to miss out. I want to go ahead and thank Sherwood Ford and Skip the Dishes for making all of this possible. I want to thank all of you for listening, and please send your feedback about how we sound in the new podcast studio. Don't judge us too harshly. We're learning.
But send them all to Tyler at Oilersnation.com.
Yeah, Tyler at Oilersnation.com.
That's Tyler at Oilersnation.com. Shout out Damien.
That's all for episode 53. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Oilers Nation Radio, a member of the Nation Network of Podcasts. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media to stay up to date and never miss a podcast.
Who's that second one?